with Neir Shabbos, Parshas We'atchannun, Shabbos נחמו, and Chamishus B'Av. Chamishus B'Av, Erev Shabbos נחמו. There's a lot going on, and as we know, we spoke many times before, what Chassidus is teaching us, there are many trapdoors. It's like a game that you play. There are many trapdoors that you can go in and enter and get into a different reality. Get pulled into a different reality. Every Yom Tov has its way. Every Chanukah, Purim, they all have their subtleties as to how you align with the energy. Now, the question is not, there is Lahoy Yomim Tovim L'Yisrael K'Chamishus B'Av V'Kiyom HaKippurim. It's in Ishgevein Nachazatuk Ozevi Chamishus B'Av, a Simcha day. So we heard this many times. This day was no such. This is the biggest day. That is the biggest day. Now we have to understand, Torah has to be Kechadashim every single day. It shouldn't be like something that you receive a letter from the king and we read it. That's the expression that Rashi says this week in the parasha. It has to be Kechadashim. What does it mean? That means that we are living in a fabric of intensity. We're living in a fabric of Gevuris. It's very dense. It's behelim. It's rough, and you have to mesh in to make that. Find the soft spot in the fabric and then just melt in. Just mesh in, become one with the other side. Get in touch with the softer side of the Indian, the softer side of self. Get in touch with my desire, my true desire. Once in touch with the true desire, there is no stopping, because if it's real to me, you become one with your truth, and there's nothing that the truth is the highest vibration. So, how exactly is what's the connection between this week's parsha, Parshas We'atchannun, Shabbos נחמו, and Chamishus B'Av? So the Rebbe goes into a sich over here. It's just a beautiful way of explaining it. So we have. Moshe asked the Eibishter in Parshas We'atchannun. He wanted to go into Eretz Yisrael. So he says We'atchannun al Hashem, and We'atchannun is Lashon Chinam. What does it mean, Lashon Chinam? That there is ways of negotiation. If I do one, you're going to give me back two. I did so and so to you, now you give me back. So there's a give and take. Now that is through Torah mitzvahs, so to speak. I have so many good deeds, so I deserve. Now that is one mahalach. But Moshe has taught us over here a way of tefillah, and also brought down David HaMelech did the same thing. Tefillah is a matnas chinam. I'm tapping into something. To my essence of who I am, not because of what I did, but who I truly am, not in my helm, not in my chomer, not from mata maila, but rather from inside outside. I'm finding myself. I'm finding my true self. We have נחמו Ami. What happened was that the Nevi'im, so to speak, came to the Yidden and they said that it's going to be good. We have now 7 weeks of Nechama. From now till Rosh Hashanah, the Haftorahs are going to be about Nechamas Yisrael, about the going out of Gullus. Going out of Gullus means that we're opening up, we're peeling the layers of Chomer. So they came to the Yidden and then they went back to the Eibishter and said that they're not accepting it anymore. In other words, it's not they're not accepting it, they're not feeling it. You're telling every week. We're telling them that this is it. This is the week. This is the Yom Tov that's gonna take us out, and nothing is changing. We're still here. Says the Eibishter back, נחמו Ami. He says the lashon twice. there's something called Keflaim B'chol Chataseh. Eibishter says that you guys, we did two gullahs. We did gullahs, Adam and Bavel. Bavel and gullahs Adam. We did two exiles. Therefore, we already paid. We double paid. We paid over. We overpaid the price, and all the sins were wiped down. There's no doubt. I've been bitter for long enough that I can start forgiving myself. I've been crying. I've been living in my squeeze. I've been living in my victimhood long enough that I can start forgiving myself. The 3 weeks and the 9 days intensifies that feeling. So then when Chamisha Asar B'Av comes, I can tap into a place of tefillah. I can tap into a place of matnas chinam, just because who I am, because I'm a yid, because this is who I am. I don't deserve just who I am. That is Chamisha Asar B'Av, which is a day that there was no hischalkas. Everybody was equal. Everybody dressed up in white, and they went out too. And there was a heter of the different shvatim were able to marry with each other. They opened up the gates. Everybody was able to connect. There was no judgments. You come from here. You come from there. The blick, the what we held on to, the way we lived, this is who I am. I belong to this tribe. You belong to that tribe. That was waived. There was no longer did we need that. Everything was already. We came into a moment of achdus, and that is a geula moment. Now now we have like this. We have a matnas chinam. We have Moshe wanted to go into Eretz Yisrael. He asked the Eibishter to go into Eretz Yisrael. And from once he would have gone into Eretz Yisrael, what the purpose of that was, then there would have never been a Chorban Bayis, because it would have been Nitzchi. Why? Because the Avodah would have been a Serusa de La'ela. It would have been from top down, which means that we wouldn't have to negotiate, in other words, to work in chomer, to work in physical, in order to get through, to mesh into the fabric of our deepest desire, but rather we would just be present with it. We would just be present with Eretz Yisrael, with higher conscience. And as the Rebbe points out, that was not the avodah from Maila Mata, from Isirusa Delayla, is not something that it's Eber Nova Ere. It's something that Eber Nova Ere is Oretz HaTova, Asher Be'ever Yad Nahar HaTova Zeh. It's not something that you physically do, but it's something that is behistaklis, beria. It's something that it's in chokhmah. It's in concept. It's in it's more. Let's just say luchas rishonos type of thing, which is not in physical avodah. And even so, says the Rebbe, that it wouldn't have been nahama the chasifa, which means that bread of shame, because I'm just keep receiving, because after all he davened for it. It would have been more of like a flow. A matnas chinam would have been a tefillah type of thing. It would have been way easier and softer than the harshness that we're dealing with right now. So Veschanan is matnas is he wanted a matnas chinam. We have Shabbos נחמו, which means that we went into two gullahs. At this point, we are also in. It's almost matnas chinam because we received more. We have taken more than what we should have taken. We overpaid the price. We paid in twice as much. From that place, we get to ask for a matnas chinam, which is that I get to ask just because of who I am, just because of what I need, my existence. I don't need to negotiate, because ultimately the holy Sirusa the Lasata avodah from bottom up is not really our avodah. It's something that we're taking on other cleaning that we are doing over here, other layers and layers that does not really belong to us. It's not our avodah. So tapping into simcha, tapping into massive simcha, that's the way to do this. Massive simcha, and just accepting, forgiving. It should be a matnas chinam. Stop judging self of do I deserve, don't I deserve. Stop feeling that I need to process if I'm already ready, willing, or able to release myself from my regular spin. But just go to matnas chinam, tap into. That's because it's available. That's where it's at. No negotiations. Just getting into the moment, getting into the flow. Also, the 15th day of Chamish Usur B'Av, that's when Sahara B'Shlemusa, that's when the moon is at its fullest. The moon is at its fullest, which means that the moon, the Levana keeps going, gets smaller and gets bigger. But on the 15th day is when the moon is at its fullest glow. That's when it's in perfect alignment. The moon, Levana, is called Malchus. We are also Malchus. We are aligned with the moon. And today, Chamish Usur B'Av, is when it's aligned, and you can align yourself forever. So says the Rebbe, that it's open all the way from top to bottom, and you can align yourself with the clarity, with as to where you need to be, and with a flow that is already well overdue. Have an awesome Shabbos.